What's going on, y'all? DJ Drum Major back with another update. Hope y'all staying safe. Hope y'all staying clean. Hope y'all staying germ-free throughout this pandemic. We're almost through it. They keep saying 2 weeks this, 2 weeks that, but it seems like we're going 2 weeks for like 2 months now, 3 months, 4 months. The first back in January, they said what? Okay, 2 weeks, we're going to finally be through this. After 2 weeks, we're going to go back to normal. But they've been saying that every 2 weeks. And after that 2 weeks ends, they say it's going to be another 2 weeks. But they say next week is going to be the top of it. They say next week is going to be the Pearl Harbor / 9/11, where we see the most impact across every state and everything, and that we see the most fatalities and all that. So is that true? Is it not true? We're just going to have to see what happens. I got a feeling they're going to say it's another 2 weeks after this next week is up, or after this next 2 weeks is up, they're going to say it's going to be another 2 weeks, blah, blah, blah. But is this really a real thing? Is this a planned pandemic? Is this something that they've been forecasting a long time ago? That's what I kind of think, and that's what I'm going to touch on later in this video. I'm going to let you see a couple videos that kind of fortify that thought and to try to give you a better example of what I'm trying to say. First, we're going to go ahead and go into these numbers real quick, state by state. Right now, we're at 340,000 cases in the U.S., almost there to that number. We went from last place to first place. First, we had the least amount of coronavirus cases, and now we're like at the top of the world right now as far as the top coronavirus cases in the North Carolina and the U.S. area. It's just crazy. And right now, we're going to the 10,000 mark range for the deaths, and that number keeps going up day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute. You can look at this map right here to kind of see the hot spots of the flares across the nation. Look, luckily the middle part of the nation is not really affected that much. We still have the East Coast and the West Coast and the Panhandle of Florida that has a lot of cases, especially up here in the Northeast. We got so many cases in the area, and that's the #1 spot where the coronavirus is taking off so far. Unfortunately, you can look at this number right here. New York right now is #1, 122,000 cases, almost 123,000 cases with over 4,000 deaths. New Jersey is #2 with 37,000 cases, almost 38,000 cases, 917 deaths. Michigan is 15,000 cases, 616 deaths. California is 15,076 cases, 349 deaths. Louisiana is 13,000 cases with 477 deaths, almost 500 deaths. And you can look at this real quick just to try to see if it compares to your state and the state that you're in. You can kind of see what's going on in your area. Scroll down, Missouri, 2,000 cases. Arizona, 2,000 cases. Wisconsin, 2,000 cases. South Carolina, 2,000. Nevada, 1,800 cases. We got so many states right now that's affected by this. And that number's going to keep changing day by day. But what if it just is a planned agenda, something that they forecasted a long time ago? And I got something that I'm going to show you at the end of this video that's going to kind of back that up and to give you a better example of it. And look at this right here, man. It's just crazy. We know that SARS and coronavirus is basically the same thing, and that they go hand in hand. I'm going to read you this real quick before we get into the video, just so you can have a better background of what we got going on to understand it basically. COVID-19 is caused by a coronavirus. Coronaviruses are a large family of viruses that are common in people and many different species of animals, including camels, cattle, cats, and bats. Rarely animals and coronavirus can affect people and then spread between people, such as with MERS-CoV, SARS-CoV, and now with this new coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2. So that's the new coronavirus right there, SARS-CoV-2. So just remember that SARS and CoV are basically the same thing. So you have to know that before I play this video, just so you can have a better understanding of what I'm trying to tell you. And it's just crazy of all this stuff and all the similarities, because sometimes the truth can be hidden in plain sight. And it's all depend on your perspective of what you see it from. And we're going to go through this real quick. Elon Musk trying to send people to space. One thing that got me believing this is a planned pandemic, because we got so much technology, we got so many inventions, so many great things happening in the science industry right now, and we can't come up with a virus cure within a matter of weeks. We got this guy Elon Musk. He want to send people to space by 2050. He want to send 1 million people up to Mars. He want to build 1,000 starships and send them up to Mars by 2050. I don't know if that's a good idea, man, because you can't handle a pandemic or a virus outbreak on Earth. It's no telling how strong or what bacteria we're going to face when we get up there to space. So it's not a good idea to go head up there to space, and we can't handle what we got to do on Earth right now. We need to figure out how to handle all the things on Earth first before we go and try to populate another planet, or else you're going to put all that population that you send up to that planet at risk. And that would not be a good start as far as a population wipeout for the first thing that you have when you go up to a new area like Mars or a new planet. Right there, you're going up to a new solar system, basically, man. You're going totally out of our galaxy and into another zone where we're completely unfamiliar with, because that's going to put them at risk, at high risk for being sick, for having a virus or something like that. Make sure you be able to fight that. And also, we got all this stuff like self-driving cars, all these great things, stem cell research, cures for all types of cancer and whatnot, basically, and we still can't come up with a virus cure. That just doesn't make sense, man. I don't get that fact at all. So that's one thing that got me thinking, okay, this is a planned pandemic. This is something that they want to do. This is something that they want to do to try to shift the shuffleboard of the U.S. Because, you know, we got people in power that's been getting impeached basically for the past 4 years, and that they want to get that person out of power at all costs. And it doesn't seem like they don't have any type of heart when it comes to trying to get that person out of power. And that person in power may not have a heart either. But the things that they're doing to try to get that person out of power is putting great amount of people at risk. And it's a possibility that they're using trying this to try to make his time in office as hard as possible, to try to see how he responds to certain things, try to see how he reacts to certain things, just so they can try to catch him in something to say, oh, you're not doing this right, so they can have more evidence against him to get him out of office. That's a possibility right there that we're dealing with this in the perfect time that we are. Because it probably wouldn't happen if a Democrat was in office. They probably would have did something different. They probably wouldn't have released that virus if it was the Democrats or some type of government specification for trying to release this virus. They probably wouldn't have released it if the guy that we didn't have in office was in office. So keep that in mind. It could be just some type of political agenda or some type of agenda just to try to shift the balance of power in the world. And look at this too, man. We got clones of dogs, clones of animals, clones of humans, and they're saying that we can clone pets and we can clone people basically, and we can't even come up with a virus cure. I just don't believe that, because right now you got to do this to clone somebody. You got to have like all the DNA down, all the cells down, everything down basically to be able to bring that dog to life. So if your Fido got old and he passed away, unfortunately, you're going to be able to get a new puppy Fido if you lost your dog and you never have to be without Fido again. So you're telling me that you can clone a dog, you can clone people, you can clone all that stuff like plants and everything, but you can't come up with a virus cure? That just doesn't make sense. That's completely BS to me. I'm going to have to go ahead and go to the next tab real quick. Since I mentioned that cars and COVID are the same thing, I have to go ahead and watch this next video so you have a better understanding of what's really going on. And what if this is the way that this virus came about right here? Watch this.
I already have a plan how we can force them off their land. Sneakily. We're going to give them blankets. We'll present the blankets as a peace offering. But what the round eyes will not know is that the blankets are infected with SARS.
SARS is coronavirus.
I need your help getting the SARS onto the blankets.
And what is everybody wearing right now?
Okay, bring them in.
Okay.
Let's see how Southport deals with this. Everyone grab a Chinese person and rub them on a blanket.
And isn't it crazy how they grabbed the Chinese people where supposedly this virus came from, and they grabbed the Chinese person and rubbed it on a blanket? So what if that virus is put there personally or intentionally just to try to go ahead and make it spread from a certain area to cause problems in that area? And China, Wuhan, is the place where this virus was created or was found at first, supposedly. And Wuhan, China has this lab that's a bioengineering lab that looks so much like the Resident Evil lab with a T-virus outbreak, which is just crazy. And the similarities of that are just eerie. Look at this, the Umbrella Corps logo in the lab of Wuhan, China, that they do bioengineering and virus research and stuff like that. There's a possibility that that virus came out of this very lab, and that's why we're dealing with this. So keep that in mind as well. Just so much stuff that I'm trying to wrap my head around, trying to process and trying to do research on that I want you to be aware of, man. And look, if you rearrange these letters right here, Raccoon City, what does that end up being? Corona, man. Isn't that just wild? The similarities of that, even though it can't be just a coincidence. That's just ridiculous right there. Now look at this next video of Resident Evil that'll tell you exactly why the government does the thing that they do. They have hidden agendas behind everything.
We're here today, not just to talk about the future of this company. We're here to talk about its destiny. We're here to talk about the end of the world. We stand on the brink of Armageddon, diseases for which we have no cure. Fundamentalist states who call for our destruction, nuclear powers over which we have no control. And even if we navigate these dangerous waters, we face other, even more inevitable threats. Global warming will melt the polarized gaps within 80 years, flooding 90% of all habitable areas on Earth. Unchecked population growth will overtake food production in less than 50 years, leading to famine and war. This is not conjecture. This is fact. One way or another, our world is coming to an end. Now the question is, will we end with it?
What do you propose?
I propose that we end the world, but on our terms. An orchestrated apocalypse. One that will cleanse the earth of its population but leave its infrastructure and resources intact. It's been done once before, with great success. The chosen few will ride out the storm, not in an ark as in the book of Genesis, but in safety, underground. And when it's over, we will emerge onto a cleansed earth, one that we can then reboot in our image.
And just how do you intend to achieve this?
The means of our salvation are already at hand. I give to you the T-virus.
Here, at least.
AKA the coronavirus, man. That's just crazy. That can't be a coincidence, especially that this lab logo looks just like the Resident Evil logo, man. That's just wow. I can't say anything about that besides wow, and that's just crazy because I can't believe that similarities that are so go hand in hand. Now watch this next video. How many of y'all watch Black Lightning? Because they have something in Black Lightning that really raised the hairs on my back and the hairs on my chest that made me say, okay, this is probably what they're really doing right here. Sometimes the truth can be hidden in plain sight. It just takes your perspective to be able to see it. Now watch this on Black Lightning real quick. Got one more clip after this I'm going to show you. I'm going to let y'all go for the day. All right, appreciate y'all tuning in.
Last night I saw a superhero, he was black. He said, this is for the street, Black Lightning's back.
I'm Rebecca Larson, and this is the Larson Line. Once again, we have been lied to. There is no SARS epidemic in Freeland. It's something much worse. They're feeding us fake news to hide the truth. There's even talk of a daily resistance by liberal anti-vaxxers fighting the government's attempts to control whatever this is. If you have been in or near the city of Freeland in the last 3 months and feel that you may have been exposed, please call the number on the bottom of the screen.
CDC.
An operator will direct you to a CDC-approved testing facility. Our thoughts and prayers are with the citizens of Freeland as the government-mandated quarantine continues.
Quarantine. How many times have you heard that word in the past couple months, man? That's just wow. They're saying basically the same things that we're going through on a TV show that we're going through in real life. Even the quarantine situation, even the fact that they're saying if you have been exposed to this, you need to go ahead and quarantine yourself, blah, blah, blah. That's just ridiculous. So we're going to go ahead to this next clip real quick, then I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go for the day and think about all the stuff that I'm showing you for the day and draw your own conclusion to it. That's all I want you to do. I'm not trying to make you believe anything. I want you to draw your own conclusion and to find your own information as far as this topic is concerned. So let's go ahead and watch this last clip, and you can just do your thoughts on that, all right?
I found this when I was going through the system that I mirrored in the pit. This aired in Jacksonville a few days ago.
Freeland continues to be on lockdown. Officials say they are still no closer to eradicating the SARS epidemic, which forced the government to quarantine the city more than a month ago. What the hell?
That's what I'm saying, Anissa. What the hell? What is really going on? We got so much stuff to think about and so much stuff to figure out. What's real and what's not? Is it just some type of political agenda? Is this a planned pandemic? I think it is a planned pandemic more than anything, but I'm going to keep doing my research and trying to find the truth behind the situation. That's what I do. I find the truth. I'm a factivist, not an activist. I only try to find facts. And I'm going to bring y'all another video in the next couple of days, maybe next week. Just stay on the channel, and I'm going to go ahead and keep the videos coming. Appreciate all the people commenting. Like Rita, I see you. Tim, I see you. Thank you for being in the comment section. Y'all be safe. Y'all take care, and I'll see y'all in the next one. DJ Drum Major, 919 News. I'm out.